All right, so here's my character. He's been generated now. And what I can do is go to download this character, Pink Zombie. One thing I could have done is change the height of these, and that way maybe I wouldn't have to change the bone sizes later. But that's something good to know how to do, anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's go ahead and download this. And um, actually, before I get to that, I'm in my generated characters. You can only download them from here. So once you create them in your designs, you can then choose to generate them into a mesh to import into Maya. So I'm going to click on download right here, and I have Pink Zombie. It's going to go to my downloads. Okay, it's going to send a zip file down there. And so here's my zip file for Pink Zombie. I'm going to show in Finder, and here we are. It's in a zip, so I can't take anything out or open anything from that just yet. I'm going to right click on it, extract all. It's in my downloads, so it's going to be in the same folder, easy to find. Extract. Here's my zombie. Here's file. Here's my UV mapping, my normal map, which will also be used for bump mapping, as well as my specular map right here. And I'm going to close this down. And now that I know where it's at, I'm going to open up Maya, and I'm going to go to File, Open Scene, and I'm going to locate where it's at. And in my downloads, Pink Zombie, open, and then here he is. All right, I can hit 6 on my keyboard and see materials and so on. You can see exactly how large he is. Here's the grid down below. Really big character, so some space and time could have been saved by not making him as so large. But one thing I'm going to do right now is get these lights out of the way and select them off to the side here, and Control H, hide those. And I want to see my bone structure here real quick and see exactly how Maya did with arranging these characters in the bone structure the way it thinks it should have. And right now it looks like it's done a pretty decent job. I can grab these joints here as well and rotate them and see exactly how well it's done. These bones in certain places might be too large or too small depending on your preference. A lot of these joints out here showing up can make things really confusing. And if that's the case, one easy thing you can do is change the size of those, which I'll get to later. Now, since a lot of us, when you're creating your own character, doesn't start out like this. You just don't have a rig already in place. And so what I'm going to do is choose this rig right here and actually delete, and got them all out of the way. And I'll show you, once you're left with a mesh, like a lot of you are going to be starting with, how you can go about different ways of modifying a quick rig. So I'm going to go up to my rigging here, make sure this is rigging. I'm going to go to skeleton. I'm going to go down to quick rig right here. This window pops up, and I'm going to go to plus. I'm going to choose my mesh. Actually, I have a lot of mesh here. I'm going to choose all of it, and then I'm going to go to auto rig. Auto rig pops up, looks good. Now you can see my bones look really kind of small, actually. And if you'd rather them be larger in size, then what you can do is go up to display, animation, joint size, and they're set to a size of 5 right now. Let's say I can change it to a size of 10. See how that changes. Made them a little bit wider, made them a little bit bigger if I don't like that. Or if you want to make them smaller, you can do the same thing. Joint size and say 20. Oops, not 20. There we go. Right. So now I can kind of see exactly what I'm looking at here. Now my joints, not quite where I want them to be, right? In fact, some of them are not even really in the mesh. And so some of these things can be done better. And this is something to be expected when you bring in a rig without any kind of um, rigging added onto it. So you can kind of grab some joints and move them. Like this has a IK system into its legs. You can see how it bends. There's some weird misshapening happening with the hips there, but that can be adjusted later. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to control the Z back to his normal resting place here. And so there's some things that can be shifted around for sure. So we're going to go through and adjust some of these things. Okay, so as you can see, the quick rig is not going to work perfectly. So one thing you can do here is you can take these out, and I'm going to delete everything quick rig over there, and I'm going to go to skeleton. Actually, it's already up. Quick rig is right here. I'm going to go step by step this time and add. I'm going to choose my mesh, and I'm going to add my geometry in right here. And it's an imperfect mesh, 256. And we're going to begin right here. You can see that I've added everything with eyes and everything as well. It's an imperfect mesh because there's holes in it, which means it's not watertight. And that's for the facial features that are in there. I'm going to stick with guide settings for right now and go to create an update here. So my guides pop up quite large, actually. So again, you know how to change these things. Maybe just one. That looks pretty good right there. So gone through and adjusted those. And now I can actually take those and move them around and customize them as needed. So now I'm going to go into my 4Views, which is I'm going to hit the spacebar on my keyboard. And now I can go through and adjust various angles of these guides. Okay, these are not the bones themselves, but this is going to be basically guides marking where these bones are going to be. So some things I can do here. Let's see. All right, I can see that now because my character is so large in the top view, not the whole mesh is not showing because it's so tall. So what I did is double click up on my top camera perspective here. Now what I need to do is change my far clip plane. Now I know that my character is like 178 centimeters, and right now it's only set to 32. So I'm going to make this 180, and that's going to be my new far clip plane for my top view, and be able to see more of what my character actually is here. So all right, so what I've done in order to see my full top view of my character, once I double clicked on this, and I actually made it visible, so I did Shift H to make my top view visible. Now I can see my far clip plane, and what I'm going to do is raise that up above my character so I can see all the mesh of my character as needed. Now I'm going to go back and hide that because I don't need to see that in my way. So now it gives me a good view from above of what my guides look like on my mesh here. So what I'm going to do is choose these guides and move them to places where I feel better fit, wrist joints and so on, for this character. So let me open up my quick rig tools here, and here they are. And now once I get one set where I want it to be, I want to mirror it to the other side. So I'm going to choose this right here and mirror it with the opposite side. So I can see that it's made the change there. Choose this next joint here, move it near the elbow, and mirror that one as well. Check it, see that it's placed where it should be, and moving on to my next part. So let me look at the front side, take a look at everything here, and look at the shoulder, put it right where that bone should be, mirror it to the other side. That's probably fine right there. Hips look fairly good. Knees look good from the front, and that looks good as well. Looking at the side view, and I'm checking all sides because everything matters here. I'm going to check this guy right here and move him a little bit towards the front end. Now it shows that there's another one behind it. That's the other leg. I'm going to mirror it to the other side so they match. My ankle looks pretty good, so I'm going to leave that right where it is. And actually, I want to move it down just a little bit and mirror that over. So this one here. Oh, that is my control group there, so I'm not going to handle that just yet. So work on this, and then what we'll do is come back and talk about how to create the skeleton for that. All right, so next we're going to look at the skeleton settings here, and I'm going to check out T stance. Even if it's an A stance, that's okay, but got mirrored behavior happening right here. Skeleton and control rig is what I want. I'm going to create an update, give it some time, and it will connect those as you customized it for your rig. All right, and all you should have to do now is basically skin your character. Actually, I see some places now where I could probably have made some better adjustments on my rig. And so if I move that up, what I'm going to do is mirror that to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to take that and move it up and mirror it to the other side and see how it's done. And that looks better. So now I can see character on all sides, create an update, see how that looks. Looks good. Bones are quite small again, but I've got a rig set up now, and very closely in here, the control that you can use for that is right in there. So now I notice that nothing's moving. It's not skinned to my character just yet. So you can see the bones move, but not the character itself. So one last thing to do here is skinning, and to skin that to the mesh that was chosen up here. So let's take a look now. Now everything moves, and I can choose my different controls here. See how everything works. And if you would like your bones larger, your joints larger, again, you can go in here and display animation joint size and make them larger. Maybe it makes it easier for you to see your joints and your control groups. Anyways, it's going to take some tweaking, take some things to look. Next thing we'll do is take a look at how to combine the face with the mesh here as well, because you'll see that as you move things, everything's already been skinned to the face already, so no worries there. We're good to go. If you had forgotten to grab all of your mesh for your face, then there would have been an extra step where you needed to mesh those to the and bind them to the skeleton as you did the rest of the body. Other than that, it's going to take some tweaking, take some practice with where the correct placements of your character is. Now, if you do see some mesh folding and doing weird things, and you are pretty sure that your mesh is in the right, or your skeletal structure is in the right place, then some of those things can be adjusted later when we get to painting skin weights. So that's all for now.